Your costume is pretty.
Oh, it's not a costume. I'm an elf.
Oh.
Well, technically I'm a human, but I was raised by elves.
New Line Cinema presents the story of one elf who's coming home for Christmas.
Boy, can't wait to see my dad. We're gonna go ice skating and eat sugar plums. Sorry!
Now,
I think someone sent you a Christmasgram.
Dad!
We should call security.
Good idea.
I like to whisper too.
Buddy's experiencing a world he never knew existed.
But he's your son. What am I gonna do? He's certifiably insane.
Discovering what it takes to fit in. And going where no elf has gone before.
What he needs is to be nurtured. Bring him home, introduce him to Emily and Michael.
How long do you think you'll be with us?
I was thinking, like, forever.
He cannot stay here.
We can't just throw him out in the snow.
He loves the snow. He's told me 15 times.
Ow! Son of a nutcracker!
We can take him.
Hello, I'm Thomas Carruthers.
I'm Will Leggetter.
And today we're talking about Elf. Will, we've got one more film to discuss this Christmas season, and that is our next episode, that is Christmas Vacation. Now, we did some little rankings last episode of the 6 films that we're discussing in this Christmas season, and Elf was your second, and I think it's definitely my second as well. I love Elf. Who doesn't love Elf? I mean, it's a perfect 90 minutes. It's in, it's out, it's tight. Every scene's great. It's really, really funny. My changes are stupid. I really love Elf. Elf is great. So what's your relationship with Elf?
I love Elf. I think I've got the same relationship as everyone with Elf. It's just very, very good. And it's a very, very good Christmas film.
Do you, because obviously we're going to do the 1-star reviews, and obviously that's just, people are all around the world. But do you know anybody in your life who doesn't like Elf?
Oof, no.
Yeah, I don't think I do. I don't really, I don't think I've ever had that conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
People have said it to me. I don't know how I give off the impression of a Christmas grump, because I'm the furthest thing from it. I do cards. I love Christmas. I guess it's because I'm depressed all year round that people must think I hate Christmas. But no, I love Christmas. I love Christmas so much. Even though in Nativity we did have a lot of fun comparing me in almost every other way, apart from his hatred of Christmas, to Mr. Martin Freeman. What's his name?
Mr. Madden's. Paul Madden.
Yeah, Paul Madden. Your name, Will Leggetter. Your specialist subject, the film Nativity, not the musical. Let's talk about some of these 1-star reviews, because they're weirdly political, Will.
Oh.
Just like Deck the Halls when they condemned Jewish... Well, who was Jewish? Sarah Jessica Parker. They condemned... Oh, no. Matthew Broderick is in Deck the Halls with Kristen Davis. Sarah Jessica Parker is Sex and the City and his wife. Being an American entails watching people robotically tell themselves they like something that a marketing department told them they like, and/or insisting there are laughs in the last few horrible Will Ferrell vehicles. The bits here are strenuously unfunny. The movie is a schlocky piece of garbage, lifting garbagey ideas from other garbagey movies. Favreau made it for his adolescent daughter. It is overripe, maudlin sentiment that stinks worse than the dirty diaper you stepped in the Red Lobster parking lot last week. Oh, excuse me. This is where I chose this review, because I want to discuss this, because they're just coming for 2 of my favorite women of all time, and also coming for one of the very specific things that I like about these 2 women. Zoe Deschanel gives Diane Keaton a run for her money in the actresses who should never be allowed to sing ever sweepstakes. Factually inaccurate. Zoe Deschanel and Diane Keaton both sing wonderfully. Diane Keaton sings great in Annie Hall and in Radio Days. You didn't have a problem with Diane Keaton singing in Annie Hall, did you, Will?
No.
Do you remember Annie Hall, Will, the movie that you watched and said, this may be the most perfect film I have ever seen?
Yeah.
And then went on to backtrack yourself.
Yeah.
I think Zoe Deschanel maybe definitely has a better singing voice than Diane. Let's talk about this now. Me and you both love Zoe Deschanel. We have discussed this in our 500 Days of Summer episode. We've discussed this in our Christmas specials bonanza. We discussed one of the New Girl Christmas specials, and big fans of New Girl, huge fans of Zoe Deschanel in everything. And there was a period in my younger life where I forgot that she was in Elf, and it's the hair, and it's the hair that throws you off. And I just, as a child, I was just like, that's not summer. Oh my God, it's summer as well. Jovi and Summer. Are you when it comes to the Zoe Deschanel power rankings, Will? Summer, Jovi, Jess. What's your Zoe Deschanel rankings?
Oh,
not films, not projects.
Yeah,
the character and her performance.
Jess.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. No, actually, I'm going to disagree. But continue.
Then Jovi, then Summer.
I think I'm exactly flipped, because I love Jess with all of my heart, but she, for me, as we talked about in the New Girl Christmas special, can get too quirky sometimes. It's just that too quirky, whereas Summer is perfectly quirky and wonderful. And so she'd be my number one, followed by Jovi, because she's great in this movie. And I think I'm going to weirdly equate it to Taxi Driver, because my biggest problem with Joker, and I know that it was a dream sequence and all that, was that I knew it was a dream sequence immediately, because there is no way in hell that Zazie Beetz would ever go on a date with this clearly deranged person. Whereas in Taxi Driver, there is a certain charisma to Travis Bickle when he's flirting, with Sybil Shepherd. And you can sort of believe that she'd go on at least a couple of dates with him. And in this, even though he's a big, stupid elf man with like almost the mind of a child, you kind of believe their chemistry, and you kind of believe that they'd go on the date. And I think Zoe Deschanel does a wonderful job of bringing us down to reality, as of course everybody else in the film does. Jon Favreau on his commentary, that's the next person we're going to be talking about, but Jon Favreau on his commentary talks about James Caan's approach to these sort of comedies, and he says it's a lot funnier. The man who stands in a room with elephants and doesn't react is a lot funnier than the guy going, whoa, look at all these elephants. And that is the key to how this film works.
Yeah.
And I was listening to the wonderful Rewatchables podcast, and they were talking about Fletch. Obviously, I love Fletch. Fletch doesn't work if people keep going, hey, who's Vito Corleone? That's from The Godfather. That doesn't make any sense. Who are you? You're not you need to just, if nobody reacts to Fletch, or they just react as if he's the funniest person in the world, that's how that film works. And this one works because nobody's going, I mean, yeah, people are going in the start, especially James Caan, are going, he thinks he's an elf, but everybody just sort of accepts it. I'm going to equate this to another film that you love, Will, Paddington 2.
Yay.
And Paddington. It's a classic Paddington formula of everybody just accepting this is the situation, and then Buddy and Paddy make Buddy and Paddy. Paddy. Buddy and Paddington make everybody better around them. Let's talk about Jon Favreau. You love Jon Favreau, Will, don't you?
I love Jon Favreau.
As a director as well.
Yes. No, and that joke doesn't land because I do.
I know it's not a joke. I know it wasn't a joke. What's one of your favorite movies, Will?
Chef.
You love Chef. You do love Chef. I'm getting this up. Oh no, he's not. For some reason, I thought that maybe Jon Favreau was in your top 10 directors. That is wrong. I'm not a huge Star Wars person. I am the original trilogy, and then I kind of stopped. Let's look at what at Jon Favreau's directorial career. So he obviously makes Maid, which is the follow-up to Swingers. Swingers great, Maid's less good. Zathura, Will. I forgot that he directed Zathura. Are you a big Zathura fan?
Never seen it.
Yeah, Zathura's just what you call it?
Robot.
No, Jumanji.
Oh, is it?
It's Jumanji, but it's robots. Yeah, he directs the first two Iron Mans, sort of, kind of setting the tone for the entire MCU. Yeah. So he's to blame. Cowboys and Aliens. Have you seen Cowboys and Aliens?
With Daniel Craig.
And
no, it's Cowboys, isn't it? It means Clint Eastwood. He's got to be in there.
It means Harrison Ford.
Oh.
Chef, the Jungle Book movie, which I didn't like, the Lion King movie, which was one of the worst things I've ever seen in my entire life, and
giant chimp.
Just absolutely, why on earth? And also, it really annoys me when people call that a live action movie. It's really annoying. It's not a live action movie at all. It's not what live action is. It's just not what live action is. It really, really annoys me. But anyway. Yeah, we talked about Jon Favreau. Obviously, what's your relationship overall with Will Ferrell, Will? Are there troughs? Or are you in for the whole ride? I remember you telling me that you went to see Holmes and Watson on a birthday once.
Oh, that's a lie.
Oh.
That was game night.
Oh. I mean, I'm sure you've seen other movies on your birthday, Will.
I adore Will Ferrell, and I'm along for the entire thing. My dad thinks he's just a bit too daft, and he's not really a big fan. I love it. I just love it all.
I think, yes, he is, in so many ways, a logical. I don't know, because it's very Jim Carrey, where he can.
Who he also doesn't like.
Well, there we go. I think he just. Well, your father clearly just doesn't like wackiness. Is that what it is?
Yes.
He prefers a good old bland Broderick performance in Take the Horse. Where everybody looks like they're on downers. Apart from Kristen Davis, who is definitely on uppers. And Kristen Chenoweth. I mean, wow. Anyway, enough of that film. Yeah, it's that almost impenetrable combination of hilarious wackiness and absurdity with moments of just straight-faced deadpan. That you often get people who only do one. Your Leslie Nielsen's career falls apart when people start casting him as a wacky guy. Yeah. Then you go back to Airplane and Naked Gun, the first couple, and he is playing it straight the whole way through. There isn't especially Airplane, there isn't a single like goofball delivery in that entire film. If you were going to go on a desert island, Will, with two Will Ferrell movies forever, what would those be?
Oh, Step Brothers has got to be up there, I think.
Step Brothers is absolutely sensational.
Yeah. And possibly one of the Anchormans.
I really, really like Anchorman 2. I think a lot of people have come around on Anchorman 2. Previous and future guest Ava Robinson, that's her favourite Anchorman. And she does her typical thing where she likes a sequel and she's like, no, I don't watch Anchorman. I finally got her to watch Muppets Most Wanted because, and she was like, now I don't really watch the Muppets anymore because I think Muppets Most Wanted is better. She's a big fan of Good night, Danny Trejo. I mean, everybody who wouldn't be a big fan of Muppets Most Wanted. I host the karaoke at my local bar every last Friday of every month. Come to the Alma, and they have a karaoke track of Me Party. And obviously, I could play both roles.
Obviously.
But I need to be, there needs to, previous and future guest Rian Holmes at least needs to be there for at least a couple of people to recognize the song and cheer and not just have 20 people staring at me whilst I go, I'm not going to serve up myself and wait for you. Haven't you heard? What is it? That was more Mogwai than Piggy.
Yeah.
Well, we're seeing Amy Adams this year.
We are. We're very excited.
And we have a spare ticket. It's an auction. You can come to the Glass Menagerie with Carruthers and Leggetter. No, that's not true. But we do have a ticket. Oh, that'll be £30 in New Orleans. Yeah. Anyway, let's get back to Elf. 1-star reviews. Whilst Will finishes off looking at his emails. The film's success proves that there are a lot of people on antidepressants. I felt so bad for James Caan.
For James Caan, not for his character, for James Caan.
See, I watch this and I go, James Caan's having the time of his life. This is the perfect casting. What's James Caan done since Elf?
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Oh, was he the voice in the dad?
Yeah. Great role.
Because I think James Caan, because I mean, I love James Caan. Obviously, The Godfather is one of my favorite films of all time, but I'm a big fan of Thief. Obviously, Misery is one of my favorite films of all time.
Yeah.
So say it again.
Is it just those two movies that he's done since?
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs?
Yeah.
No, he was in Get Smart as the president.
Oh, yes, he was.
Henry's Crime, That's My Boy. Lots of straight to DVD stuff, unfortunately. Lots of, well, I call them fake movies. Maybe that's untrue and cruel, but it's like those movies that might as well not exist. I mean, have you ever heard, Will, of this is a TV movie, The JL Family Ranch, The Wedding Gift. This stars John Voight and James Caan and Bo Derek, and I've never heard of it in my entire life. When Henry proposes, it looks like Rebecca will get her fairy tale ending until her daughter invites a visitor from her past to the ranch that will change the Petersons and Landsbergs forever. In what movies does he have a soundtrack credit? Yeah. Obviously, Elf.
Oh, yes, because he sings.
Because he sings in Elf. And also Funny Lady. He was in the sequel.
Oh, the sequel. Yes.
Funny Lady. She's one funny lady. Okay. Will.
Hello.
10-minute stretch. Elf.
Oh. So, I've gone for the opening, of course, in the North Pole. Fantastic. Great way to open it.
We also stay there for longer than I remember every single time. I'm always like, we're still here? Like, it doesn't feel long and it doesn't feel too short. And I think it's very economic how it's all done, because we have just enough time with Buddy not knowing. Then we have, because you can't also have half an hour of Buddy not knowing, because we already know from the Bob Newhart opening and telling us everything. So we already know. So there you go. The opening's delightful.
I've gone for In New York for the First Time. Maybe that should be a minute.
I've got Pennies from Heaven in Best Single Minute. I've got his time in Gimbals as a 10-minute stretch.
Okay. Well, I'll steal that. Yeah, that's very, very good. But yeah, because I've put Decorating Gimbals or the store upstairs
as a single minute.
As a minute. Yeah.
That's an
So
excellent.
I'm blowing all my minutes. Yeah. And then I've gone for sort of the Santa fixing the sleigh finale.
Mhm. Yeah, I think you're missing a big one. Mailroom.
Oh, I've put that in minute.
That's too long. Too long with the mailroom. Because oh, it's sucky. Oh, it's right. I don't. Let's have this conversation now, and then we'll go back to 10-minute stretch. I don't think it can be underestimated how good Will Ferrell's performance in this is. It is. I've talked about this before with like these tightrope roles, and for me, one of the biggest tightrope roles of all time is Elle Woods, because obviously you have to be incredibly musical talented and all that, but if you are just that little bit too annoying or that little bit too shrill, it just completely turns you. And also, if you are not full of energy the entire time, then you have no idea. Tightrope. And this is another tightrope role where, incredibly, he is just that perfect amount. He's annoying for the characters, but it never gets to a point where it's annoying for the audience. And obviously, and then there's lots of heart in it as well. Whilst also, as we've said, being believable to get a quote, a normal woman who's not an elf, and it's a believable romance. It's a believable chemistry. Yeah, I have the mailroom. I'm amazed, Will, that you jumped straight to the end, because obviously one of the best 10-minute stretches, I want to say, of all time is Miles Finch arriving and the entire boardroom. I'm in love. Who knows it?
See, I've also done minutes.
Well, no, we're all finding this really funny, pal. We're all laughing our asses off. Okay, so we don't do Oscar travesty anymore because, we've ended up looking at every movie here. But remove all comedy bias and all that stupid stuff. Who gets best supporting actor in this?
Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage is correct. Who gets best actor? Obviously, Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
I think this can be a new category where we just ignore who was nominated that year.
We just give them Oscars.
Give the top five. Best supporting actor, definitely Peter Dinklage. When it comes to just amount of time on screen, and also, again, tightrope, because he's coming in, and this is stuff that Peter Dinklage, not Miles Finch, has heard their entire life, and these stupid jokes, and he owns it, and he makes it, whilst also still making it very funny. I get more ass in a week than you have in your entire life. And so he's owning it, but it's still really funny. The entire character is an incredible creation of this jumped up, I'm going to say, coke-fueled children's author millionaire with these ridiculous ideas. I mean, I'll ruin it now. My favorite line in the entire film is, I've got this one particular idea that I'm psyched out of my mind about. It just makes you want to go, yes! And I think it's mainly Peter Dinklage's delivery. But that, I mean, as a kid, I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. The whole, you're an angry elf. But now, as I've grown up, it's still one of the funniest things in the world. And instead, my favorite moment is, obviously, call me an elf one more time. Call me an elf one more time. You're an elf. He just doesn't understand. Yeah. And again, it brings us back on Buddy's side. He's clearly confused, and he obviously thinks Peter Dinklage is an elf. But then it gets to a certain point where we go, oh no, realize that this isn't what's happening. And then the naivety of him with "you're an elf" gets us back on Buddy's side again. And then the ending, just a great finale. Really tight, really well done. Just wonderful, wonderful stuff. And a great action. The Central Park Rangers are a really good action villain creation.
They used to be terrifying. It's like the Rangers are coming.
As a kid, I thought they were real.
I exactly, precisely, Tom.
And I thought the Simon and Garfunkel thing was a real incident. And then, like, when I'm older, I've realised, oh, of course, the Simon and Garfunkel 1985 concert, which I'm sure you've seen.
No.
Or have seen clips of. Anyway, it's the most, like, placid, bland concert. Well, no, obviously, the music of Simon and Garfunkel isn't bland, but, like, nobody's dancing because everyone's just listening to Like a Bridge. You know, everybody's just, like, enjoying it. So it obviously wouldn't need breaking up. Which I find now a very, very funny joke. That's it for 10-minute stretch. Thomas Whittler's specific favourite parts of the film. I love the little cobbler moment. Again, the first 5 minutes, we will talk about this with Planes, Trains and Automobiles, a movie in my top 10 that we haven't talked about yet, but it's the little things that in so many ways don't need to be done that make a film. Like, I always think of in Planes, Trains and Automobiles when he recognizes him in the airport and he's reading like the sex pot novel, and he goes, and he's remembering, and then it cuts back to him, and they've brought in the door and they've put him in the hat, and he goes, hey, and in the airport, and it's that probably took another half an hour, another day. But it makes that scene. And it's little things in this, like introductions into the elf world. Introductions into the elf world. Like the little cobbler moment. The elves and the shoemaker and the tree sitting on fire, cooking cookies in a tree. Cooking cookies in a tree. Cooking cookies in a tree. Jacqueline Bouvier, Kennedy Onassis. The cobbler. I love the talk about I've put here the reveal. Oh, the first reveal of Buddy in the classroom is absolutely hilarious still to this day. I mean, all the size stuff in the first 10 minutes is hilarious. Anytime he bumps into something. I love the way they handle the parents' rumour. Just very tastefully done. And you know, but still funnily done, and it's still witty, and you know, some movies just ignore it, and whereas I like that this sort of maybe gets another 2 years out of kids, whereas like other movies that it's just like no, this is real, let's not explore it. But these, as a little thing, it's good. I love the cutaway to he's on the naughty list, and the first thing we see Walter doing is taking books away from a nun. But the children love those books. Yeah, well, should have made the payments. What's your favourite gag in the best single minute Pennies from Heaven, First Time in New York?
It's got to be the best coffee in the world.
That's an excellent. I'm a big fan of him waving at the guy waving down a taxi. Hi. 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 Best single minute nominee, the elevator and him turning on all the lights, and then when we get to his floor and he walks past and we see half of the lights still to go, and he goes, I'm sorry I can't ride up the rest of the way with you. Oh, I forgot a hug. The screaming of it's Santa, Santa. After Baby It's Cold Outside, him running straight into the bathroom door. Don't look at me! Don't look at me! Ah!
It's a very, very good fall as well. It's very funny.
So, happy birthday. Then one of the cutest, most delightful romantic moments of all time. I think we can put this in the overall rankings. Him kissing her and you missed. Go, what? You missed. It's just such a perfect little line, delivery. So cute, so wonderful. You missed. Something I didn't talk about in the Miles Finch scene. Look at you when he's running at him and his arms are open. Look at you. That's good. I love Mary Steenburgen singing. I love Mary Steenburgen. She sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake.
That's in one of my changes.
Oh, well, not everybody's a good singer. Not everybody's a good singer. It's a perfect choice for her to be a bad singer. He knows when you're awake. You know what? That is, I don't know why that's an iconic moment with this film, but when people mention Elf or people sing, I do that impression, and I don't have to say it's Mary Steenburgen in Elf. And all I do is, he sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. And everybody goes, ha, ha, ha. Maybe they're just like, ha, ha, ha. Well done. Yeah, Tom, it's time to go. But they seem to know that it's Mary Steenburgen. And then I have James Caan playing the piano and Zoe Deschanel singing Auld Lang Syne.
Yeah.
Just delightful.
Great stuff.
Who else can play the piano well? Oh, no. That's like, that was the broadest question of all time. When it comes to 70s actors, Dustin Hoffman can play the piano. He was like a classically trained boy. And then like in Tootsie, there's the birthday party and he's playing, and the guy goes, "You're really good, Michael." I am not Dorothy Kibble. I am not. Oh. What are we doing, Tootsie?
I don't know.
You didn't even know we were doing Elf. The James Caan piano. Will's weirdly specific favourite parts of the film.
So I like the photos in the opening. So when they're playing basketball, and just all the height funny photos is very good. And then the one where he's like just not in the photo frame at all. His head's just completely cropped out. It's very funny. When you're on about the forced perspective stuff.
Perspective.
Yes. I like, my favorite one is them riding the bike.
Yes, very well done.
The tiny little hands, and it's like whoa, I think one that everyone thinks is iconic with Elf is the escalator gag.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. Do you want to go?
Yeah, we can both say we've both done that many times before. We've tried that.
I think I have. I think in my later life, I've gained weight. And so I've split a couple of genes. So I avoid any reckless gene.
Have to carry out a risk assessment before.
Yeah. Calm down.
The mailroom in particular, the whiskey gag, and then dancing.
Oh, syrup.
And then like the whole dancing on the tables and everyone's just, that's great. And then I've gone for the John Favreau bit with the cotton balls. I like the bit where just the interaction between him and James Caan was like, stop it, and it's like, oh, it's in your ear. I love that.
Yeah. And then when he does prick him, he goes, ah, and he does the silent scream. Yeah. It's hilarious. And I spoiler for the commentary corner, John Favreau talks about at that exact moment, James Caan turns his back to the camera. That's because he's laughing. That's because he hadn't seen the silent scream moment before, and he just started laughing. John Favreau, also a great actor.
Fine actor.
Fine man. A good, upstanding man, John Favreau. John Favreau. I'd like to see him make more movies. Get away from the bloody Mandalorian, and I think he's a really good comedy director and all that.
But he's passionate about it, isn't he? Let him do what he wants.
I'm passionate about.
There you go.
Oh yeah, what a misery. Best single minute then. Oh no, soundtrack corner. Good soundtrack. I think obviously great Christmas music and good choices. I don't think it can be underestimated how perfect a song choice Pennies from Heaven is. Yeah. Pennies from Heaven, a song not about Christmas at all, but is in my Christmas playlist because of how iconic its use in Elf is. It's just like the minute you hear it, my sister tried to make me do a TikTok. I think it's become a TikTok, as it will, Pennies from Heaven.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, anyway. Other than that, any obviously all around great song choices, music, Christmas wise. Have you got a favourite Christmas choice, Will? Before we talk about the other excellent non-Christmas choice?
The Nutcracker is a good one for that sequence.
For the trimming the tree and decorations. Yeah, that's very good. And also, You Make Me Feel So Young, which just a delightful choice and just a wonderful. And again, John Favreau talks about in the commentary a sort of, it was like, yeah, the studio wanted me to choose more modern songs, and we talked about this before. And I'm a broken record. You watch like When I Met Sally, and in 1986 when it's released, it's immediately timeless because they're picking songs that have already lasted 30 years. The minute you pick a song from that year, you are dicing with death. I always think of Maid of Honor, a film that's fine and a rom-com that's absolutely fine, but that opens with, again, a song that I quite enjoy. I'm not gonna write you a love song because you tell me it's a song I like. But like the minute you turn that movie on, you're like, oh my God, it's 2007.
What's the one at the beginning of Devil Wears Prada?
I don't think I've seen Devil Wears Prada. No, I know I haven't seen it in at least 10 years.
I love Devil Wears Prada.
I like Meryl.
Okay, and Emily?
Yes, Emily Blunt's great.
Yeah.
Doesn't she like get hit by a car and is in like the hospital for 20 minutes of that movie? Yeah. And maybe I should watch it again. Miranda Priestley. I know her. I know people's names. Will's favorite building or set?
My favorite building or set, the Empire State Building. No, it's got to be the inside of the store when he does it all.
Specifically,
the Lego.
The Lego. There it is. Yes. If we ever do Beetlejuice, which we will do, I'm guessing we're going to spend at least 20 minutes on the miniature town up in the attic. Yeah. I love miniatures. I just love miniatures. One of the great I have a lot of regrets from my last relationship. You know how it ended, how we handled things near the end. My biggest regret is still that I didn't see her granddad's miniature train set in the attic that I was promised for 2 years. I still know the address. I should just not go. Do you remember me? I should lie. Yeah, we're back together. I'm going to pick her up in a minute. You still got that train set? Just see what the response is. Any other best sets, Will?
No.
No. Which brings us to best line. I talked about this in our last episode. You can't just throw a man in the snow. He loves the snow. He's already told me 15 times.
Very good.
Can we talk about how John Favreau says that in the Doctor scene, oh yeah, he's not reduced. What's it called? Reverted back to childhood or whatever. And James Caan's first reaction is, do you want me to breastfeed him? Okay, best line, Will, shoot.
I've gone, we should call security. I like to whisper it.
I like to whisper too.
It's very good.
And also just really well done shot. She pops in. Amy Sedaris pops in. James Caan, Elf pops in. Great stuff. Why are you smiling? I just like to smile. Smiling's my favorite. I also enjoy. You did it. Congratulations. The best cup of coffee. Oh, wonderful stuff, guys. A subtle one that I enjoy. It's just so nice to meet another human who enjoys elf culture as much as I do. Also in the You Make Me Feel So Young. Watch out, the yellow ones don't stop. And also it shows him learning things and all that.
Yeah.
Any of the best lines, Will?
It's something, I can't remember, it was something that the shopkeeper said to him. Because he's on about smiling, and then he's like, well, make work your favourite.
Yeah, no, smiling's my favourite. Work's your new favourite. Underrated performance.
Yeah.
6 inches. 6-inch girls. I think they got a guy in from head office. They're trying to get in. And then I love him. I love his little looks to Buddy when he's now Santa and Buddy comes by to get Zoe Deschanel on that day. And he just looks over. Really underrated performance. I like him a lot. Also, underrated performance. The other elf who isn't Zoe Deschanel, obviously, who comes over to get him to sign something, in that first bit where Buddy comes over, and Buddy says something, and he just gives him a look of, what the fuck? Who is this guy? And he leaves. That is an A-star performance.
Oh,
And then obviously that leads into it's the North Pole. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it isn't. Yes, it is. No, it isn't. Yes, it is. And then, okay, tomorrow morning, everybody, Santa's coming to Santa! Save your receipts. Great stuff.
that is great.
Any other best lines, Will?
And that's it from me.
Okay, which moves us on to, let's get negative. What's the change? Okay, talk about rail Mary Steenburgen, Will, one of the nicest women of all time. Ted Danson and Mary Steenburgen, I mean, just an incredible couple. But anyway, continue.
I can't too much because she's in a Back to the Future movie, so I can't.
Clara!
Clara!
Emma! I love Mary Steenburgen. Who gave Mary Steenburgen her first role?
I'm going to guess Woody Allen, by the way you've asked me that.
No, Jack Nicholson.
Oh, okay.
Jack. And then she talks at the AFI. In Going South, a good little movie. What were we talking about? Yeah, so what is your problem? You're just that she's a bad singer.
Yeah.
But obviously it's a bad change because of course she'd be a bad singer. Not everybody's a great singer. Not everybody is Zooey Deschanel. If Zooey Deschanel, I can believe that Zooey Deschanel is a good singer. If suddenly Mary Steenburgen starts singing well as well, and it sounds, I love that everybody's a bad singer, and I love that entire montage. I love the guys in the bar,
Yeah.
Must be another Dirk Lawson.
The guys in the shop, they're all in the line.
Yeah. Hey, and then obviously, Susie, little Susie would say, Susie talks a lot or whatever. Thank you, buddy. Lovely, cute little performance there. Any other changes, Will?
I've not written anything else down. I'm sure I could think of one if you want me to.
Yeah, why not? That's what the show is.
I can't think of.
Well, there you go.
No.
Zooey Deschanel says, "Did Crumpet put you up to this?" Who's called Crumpet?
Crumpet.
Because that can't be British slang because they're all in America.
I'm guessing it's one of the names they've given to one of the other elves.
Oh, Goodwill. That's good. Goodwill. How does he walk from the North Pole to New York City? I'm sorry.
And how does he get there? By looking at a snow globe.
Yeah. I walked through the candy cane forest. Okay, yeah. You can make it up through Elfland, but once you get to Alaska, oh, that's the movie we should make, Will. We should make like The Grey with Liam Neeson, but with Buddy the Elf struggling to get to New York. That's the movie I want. And that's the movie I want. And then also, so the ending, everybody's so happy, is that they're just going to steal all of Peter Dinklage's ideas from his notebook that he left. That's intellectual property theft.
But he's a nasty man, isn't he?
That is true. But he does have a particular idea that I'm particularly psyched out of my mind about. It just makes you want to go, yes! Okay. Tomatoes are done. Vulnerable. Children are vulnerable enough. Wonderful stuff. Which brings us, I believe, into what's left from your notes, Will?
That's it from my notes.
And let's talk about how this is just misery. Now, I recently watched Misery for the first time. Well, no, not my first time, obviously, but for the first time with past and future guests David Whiting and Rian Holmes, and we just had a ball quoting Elf throughout watching Misery. Anytime there was a moment's silence and James Caan was looking at, because it's the exact same performance and it's brilliant in both. I haven't listened back to our Misery episode yet, but I hope we didn't undersell how good James Caan is in that movie.
Oh no, he's phenomenal.
There's two N's in my favorite nurse's name, Annie. Also, Rian got me to tweet some modern slang because I put that Annie Wilkes is my problematic fave because she is, because I know that she's a serial murderer of children, but I still get upset and I'm still, oh, Annie. Well, I mean, you and Sam railed into me on that. I remember that on the podcast of me saying that Annie's not that bad. Do you also remember Will wanting a monologue where she talks about her dad dying in the rain and that's why she gets sad when it's raining? There you go. Well, commentary corner. So I listened to the Jon Favreau commentary. You can always tell how the relationship was on set by the commentary tracks, because this disc has 2 commentary tracks, one by Jon Favreau and then another completely separate one by Will Ferrell. Now, by all accounts, Jon Favreau and Will Ferrell had a fine working relationship, but didn't get on excessively well on set. Yeah. So I only had time to listen to the Jon Favreau commentary track. Here's a couple of fun things. He had the remote for the Jack in the Box, so he could scare Will Ferrell. A lot of the sets were also used in Freddy versus Jason. So if you watch like Freddy versus Jason, the hospital scene and all that sort of stuff, you can just see the elf stuff. Not unlike Hill Valley and Bedford Falls. No, Bedford Falls is Wonderful Life. Kingston Falls is Gremlins, yeah. But also, his biggest focus is all the practical effects.
Yeah.
And I think it really shows well. I mean, especially in the opening elf.
The narwhal.
The narwhal, all voiced by Jon Favreau. Oh, good up, buddy. We've heard you're dead.
Thank you, Mr. Narwhal.
Thank you, Mr. Narwhal. And then Leon Redbone as Leon the Snowman. Very enjoyable. But yeah, like even the little cookie and the elf's tree, like that's just false perspective. Like there's the fire in the background and fire in the front and all that sort of stuff. And it's just these little things that bring you into the world, and then make it more effective when he's in real New York. Now I'm sure that some idiot would make the argument it'd be a lot better if the elf world was all CGI and all that crap, and then he comes to real New York. But for me,
no, it works.
Yeah, yeah. And all the little stop motion characters, you appreciate the craft, so you appreciated that. And all the little stop motion characters really bring us into the world. And it's just like CGI snow and snowflakes. And every single time Favreau goes, yeah, I still think it looks out of place. I wish I'd thought on that.
Oh.
So it's like, I think he should be proud, because then when we do get some CGI in this with the sleigh, still looks great. This is 2003 and it still looks phenomenal. Yeah, it just looks really, really, especially flying over James Caan and then the fly away. Santa Claus is coming to town. Not really sure about the science and the mechanics of the Santa Clausometer. We need James Caan to sing. Yeah, I don't know about that. That's it for commentary corner. Maybe next year I'll listen to the Will Ferrell commentary. Okay. Okay, I want to talk about alternate ending corner. Now, there isn't one officially, but to me, I've always thought that there may be an alternate ending. I know that there isn't. I always find it weird how he says goodbye to Jovi and the family when the sleigh flies away. That feels like an ending.
Then she ends up in the North Pole with the next scene.
Yeah, it feels like. Well, no, the next scene is them talking about the publishing company and that they're having Christmas in New York because he has the maple syrup, and Zoe Deschanel has to hit that one note in Auld Lang Syne, even though she's sat down, and she suddenly goes from like soft Zoe Deschanel voice to like powerful belt. It's like, for Auld Lang Syne, and James Caan's just tinkling the ivories. It just feels like a big goodbye. It feels like goodbye, Billy. It feels like goodbye, because like Zoe Deschanel's smiling, but she's also sad. It feels like that's a remnant of an earlier draft where maybe and then Jovi's travelled all the way to the North Pole or something. I think the ending of this film is perfect, but that's always found it very weird that he says like goodbye, not see you soon or got some presents to deliver.
I've got some presents to deliver.
I've got some that sounds like a Santa Claus action movie. I've got some presents to deliver. The night the reindeer died on IBS, on UBS. Robert Goulet's Cajun Christmas. Okay. Elf, what's the I know, fun facts. So Will Ferrell turned down $29 million to be in a sequel in late 2013. Now, I think that was the first conversation they had, and so obviously they didn't contact anybody else. But thank God.
Yeah, I did. Why? And who approached him?
Studios.
Oh, not Jon Favreau.
I don't. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Jon Favreau is also on the solo film. Also, I think. I mean, you think Polar Express, and I guess you're right. But this is probably the most modern film to enter into the classic Christmas canon. I feel.
Nativity, I would say, is in there as well.
Say again?
Nativity, I think, has made its way in.
British though.
Oh yeah.
I don't, but like Elf worldwide, people talk about Elf in the same conversations as It's Wonderful Life.
Fred Claus.
Again, Fred Claus is quite divisive. Me and you like Fred Claus. Well, no, I may hate Fred Claus. I haven't seen Fred Claus in years. But
the Santa Claus 3.
I do. Well, yeah, Mike, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Mary Steenburgen has been in another film with Will Ferrell. What is it?
Oh, Step Brothers.
Step Brothers is correct, yes. What's your favourite moment in Step Brothers, Will? Because I have one, and it's definitely my favourite moment of a comedy of anyway.
It's probably Sweet Child of Mine.
Excellent choice. Me and my sister do that in the car all the time.
Bum bum bum.
Come on, don't let me down, buddy. Mine is very specific. It's when John C. Reilly is talking to his dad at the dinner table, and he's saying, "Okay, so, but what if I come out of the shower? I've got a real good ball throw going." And she's tried the old bull. Now she wants to try the young stud. And Richard Jenkins just goes, "Shut the fuck up!" And he throws his fork down. That makes me laugh out loud like a hyena every single time. Just shut the fuck up! Hilarious.
Speaking of Polar Express, let's do it now. The theme tune for Elf, the theme music, is the same as Polar Express.
Yeah, I know. I said this on our Polar Express episode.
No, sorry, I'll take that. But it's both Silvestri.
No, it's not. This is John Deb. This is John Debby. Because I brought this up on the Polar Express. Are you making a joke, or have you come to this the exact opposite way?
I've come to this the exact opposite way.
Yeah.
Well, no. Yeah.
On the Polar Express episode, I said this is just the Elf theme. They've stolen the Elf theme.
No, Polar Express does it better.
Untrue. Da, 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 da. Oh no, it's the other theme, isn't it? It's the da 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 da. No, Elf definitely does it better and did it first. And in legal law, Elf wins, bitch. Peter Billingsley, Jon Favreau, and Mary Steenburgen also appear in another Christmas movie. What is it? Jon Favreau, Vince Vaughn.
Oh, Vince Vaughn is in Fred Claus.
Reese Witherspoon.
Reese Witherspoon is in.
I don't know if this is a movie you like.
Four Christmases.
Four Christmases, yeah.
Yeah, I love Four Christmases.
I remember when we watched Four Christmases, it was in cinemas, and I was young. And like the first scene is them trying to shag on a plane, isn't it?
Mm.
And like immediately, my mum's friend Claire, oh. And also, I think in that there's a lot of talk about Santa not being real. And my sister was still a believer. My sister famously still a believer until high school. My mum had to bring her into the other room and say, "Isabel, Santa Claus isn't real." And her response was, "Does that mean the tooth fairy isn't real either?" I love to rub that in her face. John Favreau notes that when he went on the Atkins diet and lost around 400 pounds after filming his scene as the Doctor. He said at the time that he looked like a tall ship with a big sail. Because of this, Will Ferrell gave Favreau a tall ship in a bottle as a closing present.
Very good.
According to Will Ferrell, at the movie's premiere, co-star James Caan approached him and said he felt Ferrell's performance in the film was too over the top while they were shooting the movie. However, when Caan saw the finished film, he later said he understood the energy Ferrell needed to put into his performance and later praised Ferrell, saying it was a good performance. So thankfully, it wasn't a Tommy Lee Jones, Jim Carrey, I cannot sanction your buffoonery situation. Buddy and Jovi's baby name is Susie, visible at the end on a hat at the end of the movie, reference perhaps to Buddy's mother, Susan Wells. Susan Wells. Tagline rundown, Will. Which of these is your favourite? This holiday, discover your inner elf.
Yeah, your true elf.
Okay, how about this one? This holiday season, discover your inner elf. How about this one? This Christmas, discover your inner elf.
Oh, I see where this is going.
That's it. The other one is a comedy of elfish proportions.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
And that is
Elf and Safety, innit?
Elf and Safety. Oh, what's that from?
It's from two different things. The way I did it, the way I performed it, was from Seasonal Beatings, the Peep Show Christmas special. You're thinking of
Inside Number 9?
Yeah.
But what? I don't even know.
What's it called? The two guys that used to be Cheese and Crackers.
Oh, yeah. Bernie Clinton's dressing room, Elf and Safety. Yeah. Oh, funny. Tom's. I was going to say Tom's weirdly big question. Okay, they're both about Zooey Deschanel. Obvious question: what do we think of the blonde hair? I think we litigated this on our 500 Days of Summer episode, and I think we came down on obviously it's the brunette look.
Yeah.
However, blonde Zooey Deschanel, underrated. I think it's a good little do. And also, I think it makes people forget that she's in Elf. Because she looks so different. Also, she's in the shower. Will, when you sing Baby It's Cold Outside, how many times do you just sing the male part?
I don't think I could just sing the male part because I need to sing the bit to help me. You
just cut off each part, don't you? You just like, I really can't stay, baby, it's cold outside. Yeah. You sing those. Never in all of my life have I sat in a shower and gone, I really can't stay. Waiting for a man to come and sit on the sink. That just really annoyed me. What else was I going to say? Yeah, it's like when you sing like any of the songs on the Phantom soundtrack, you just pick your favorite lines. It's like, especially in Down Once More, you know, past the point of, and I'll always love you. you just pick whatever line you want, and then you both time Raoul sings, you take it. Why make a lie to you to save me? Dun, 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 dun. Elf. That's Elf. Is Elf a multiple over Christmas for you, Will?
You mean I watched it many times?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think with a few of my favourite movies, I'll put it on purpose to watch it, and I will also watch it when it comes on television. That's the sort of thing.
Yeah. I still haven't done It's a Wonderful Life this Christmas season. However, breaking news. Breaking news. Previous and future guest Katrina Unit watched It's a Wonderful Life for the first time yesterday, and it may be her new favourite Christmas movie. She says,
"Oh, very nice,
beautiful and wonderful, and all the things that we know about it already." we're going to end this because I've got my notebook in front of me, Will, with a special game of Can Will remember Tom's opinions on other movies?
Okay.
Okay. I have here The Prestige.
What did you just want
I want a specific favorite moment from The Prestige.
I mean, David Bowie.
No, that's not specific enough. Well,
oh, sorry, you are very specific. I'm going to go. Yes, definitely one of your favorite moments is Abracadabra.
No, it's not one of my favorite moments at all. You could have had Dead Bird. You could have had Michael Caine's Axe and Watch. You could have had You Don't Know. You could have had The Great Danton. You could have had you could have had The End Jar of Hugh Jackman. Anyway, so many things you could have had. Well, next episode, we're going full Chevy again. An icon in my life and yours. Well,
Is this our first Lampoon?
Yes, because
we haven't done Vacation, have we? No.
I could do Vacation and European Vacation. I'm not a Vegas fan.
What about Vacation, the remake?
I liked Vacation.
Yeah.
I liked Vacation.
Nice little cameo from Chevy as well.
Yeah, nice little cameo. The problem, I watched Vacation recently with people with subtitles, and so his whole big gag, where he's like, "This was a guitar by Jimi Hendrix," was all ruined because they were all typed out. And Beverly D'Angelo. What's your favorite Vacation movie?
Oh, Christmas.
I think it has to be mine as well, but I love Vacation.
Yeah.
As much. This is a real good. It's a Magnum PI. Roll them up, roll them up, roll them up. I mean, Christy Brinkley. Little boy blue, sweet little boy of mine. I love Chevy Chase. It's only our second Chevy. We haven't even done Caddyshack yet.
Wow.
You take drugs, Daddy? Every day. So what's the problem? Anyway, I love Chevy Chase with all my life, and we're going to talk about him next week. Next episode. Christmas Vacation. Here we come. Da, 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 da. I don't know how to end. What? Say something. Say something. What's your favourite Fletch line, Will?
Moon River.
Moon River. Using the whole fist there, Doc.
Da ba da ba da ba da.